The WelFarmers project is a collaborative initiative aimed at improving the welfare of pigs within the European Union. It will put together pig farmers, advisors, veterinarians, and researchers to address the challenges of the upcoming change in the European pig welfare legislation. The project will address four main topics: ban of cages, identifying opportunities and solutions in the field of loose housing of lactating sows, pigs with undocked tails, key challenges and opportunities for moving towards rearing pigs with undocked tails, avoiding pain in castration, main working lines in Europe in the fields of actual practices on pig castration, with anesthesia, analgesia, immunovaccination, producing entire males. Space allowance and flooring. Adequate space and flooring enable pigs to move freely and stay healthy. These are the stakeholders from 8 different countries involved in the project. The first phase of the project will identify the best practices in each country and subsequently choose the best practices in each of the topics. After different rounds, 24 of them will be awarded, taking into account the balance between pig welfare and farm economy and environmental and climatic impact. Once the best practices are chosen, the objective is to develop tools for the farms as virtual tours to learn how the different practices are carried out. In the virtual tour of each farm, you'll find information about the farm, a photo album, and a virtual tour through all its facilities. You will be able to choose which part of the farm you want to check. The farm tour and the best practices in each topic will be available for everyone on the WelFarmers website. This will serve as a tool for each farmer to implement them according to the specific realities and needs of their own farm. Do you want to join us identifying and sharing best practices to accelerate implementation and increase acceptance of welfare solutions? Contact us.
Welcome everyone to this new WelFarmers videocast. It's a pleasure to have you here today. My name is Javier Lorente. I am the technical director of Tres, and as Tres, we are part of this project and we are in charge of the communication and dissemination area. So we have seen in the introduction a video explaining the project. I encourage you to see it again, and as well I encourage you to visit our website WelFarmers.com, where you will know much more about the project. Now I'm going to introduce the experts that are going to be with us here today in this videocast, talking about the first round of good practices collection, and then we will continue talking about this project. I'm not going to tell you all the curriculum of the experts today because it will take all day, but because they are really people with a long experience in the swine sector. But just let me introduce who are going to be with us today. Sorry guys for the pronunciation. Sometimes it's difficult for me as well to pronounce really well your names, but I will try to do my best. So we are going to have with us Taru Antikainen from the MTK in Finland, as well Han Maribo from the Danish Agricultural and Food Council Pig Research Center in Denmark, Ion Ladosi from the University of Agricultural Science and Veterinary Medicine of Cluj-Napoca in Romania, Mariana Almeida, Health and Welfare Study Commission at the European Federation of Animal Science in Portugal, Ciaran Carroll, Head of Pig Knowledge Transfer at the Chagas Pig and Poultry Research and Development Department in Ireland, Manolo Capelloni from the Italian Pig Breeders Association in Italy, Arturo Hernán Gómez from Amprogapor, the Spanish Pig Farmers Association, and finally Eric Thebault from France, director of the Fédération Nationale porcine in France. So thank you everyone to be here today, and now I let you just to give us some words for present yourselves.
Thank you, Javier, and welcome on my behalf as well. I am Taru Antikainen, the Regional Network Manager from Finland, and I'm also the coordinator of all regional network managers in this WelFarmers project.
Hello Javier, and hello everyone joining this webinar.
Greetings from Romania and the Romanian Pig Farmers Association members, which are delighted to be a part of a great project aiming to collect and share with you all the best practices related to the most pressing pig welfare challenges we are facing today and in the future.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariana and I'm the manager of the regional network here in Portugal. It's a pleasure to be here today at the second WelFarmers webinar.
Hi, how are you? And thanks for the invite to speak here today.
Hello everyone, my name is Arturo Hernán Gómez. I'm a technician from Amprogapor, the Spanish Pig Producer Association, and I'm also the regional manager coordinator of the project WelFarmers.
Hello, I'm Eric Thébault from FNP, the French Pig Farmers Union in France, and in charge of the regional network activities within the WelFarmers project.
Hello everyone, and thank you very much for the kind introduction. I'm Manolo Cappelloni from Italian Pig Breeders Association located in Rome, and thank you for joining in this webinar. I'm excited to be here as a speaker today.
Well, thank you guys, all of you, for the presentation. And now, just let me tell you a little bit where we are right now in WelFarmers project. So we are in the 18th month of the project. We have been working really hard during this month to try to have everything running. And now we have in the process to finish the first round of the project. We have selected more than 90 good practices in the different countries that are participating in the project. You can go to the website and you can check all these good practices. You can read a little bit just about them. And now we have already selected the, let's say, top 5 best practices in each topic of the project. Remember that the project is working in 4 main topics, okay? And we have already selected the top 5, okay, good practices in each topic in this first round from these more than 90 good practices that we had collected. So all the regional networks, all the working packages, they have been working really hard to do this selection, and you can learn a little bit more, as I'm telling you all the time, in the website welfarmers.com. So I'm going to ask you guys in this first round, which has been the main challenge that you have found in your countries regarding the collection of these good practices, because I know it hasn't been an easy way. So please tell us which has been this main challenge.
I can't say that we have had that many challenges here in Finland. We have a lot of good farms. Maybe a challenge has been to select the really good ones. But castration is an issue here in Finland. We do not have any farms raising pig entire males. And also the last farms which tried immunocastration have quit, as the slaughterhouses are not accepting immunocastrated pigs. They say that the export market is not accepting it, and the customers think it's hormonal, so they do not want to buy it. So the only way we are doing it is with local anesthesia and analgesia, and the farms do it in the same way. So we only have one protocol how to do it. So there's quite a difficulty to find variation in that. That's the biggest challenge in Finland.
One of the largest challenges has actually been describing the information in the sheets, because we need to both describe the practical things as well as the economic, the environmental and the working environment. Our cooperation with the farmers and their good practices has been very easy. They were willing to share their information and they were willing to cooperate with us, all of them. There is a great difference between the good practices we have collected. Some of them has been used for a very long time and some of them are newly developed. Further, the good practices can both be very easy to implement on the farm. Right after you have heard about the idea, you can go to the barn and implement the good practice. Some of the other practices are very difficult to implement because they need rebuilding of the whole section.
Romania's pig production structure is quite unique in the European Union, as 50% of the pigs are being raised in small-scale holding, the so-called backyard system, while the other half in medium and large modern commercial farms. As such, the collection of good practices can be challenging, mainly due to limited knowledge of the concept and principles of animal welfare in rural areas. As for the commercial large-scale farms, identifying the welfare good practices on site, it became difficult due to the ASF endemic status of the country and the reluctance of the farm owners to get visitors without extended downtimes prior to entering farms.
I would say the main challenge while collecting the good practices involves finding time and space for the farmers to provide all the information that we need to answer all our questions without disturbing too much of their daily routines. Because as we all know, it's already a really tight schedule that they have, and they still make an effort, a big effort to help us.
I suppose the main challenges we found here in Ireland in terms of getting the good practice and identifying the actual good practices themselves. There's 3 key areas for us. The castration challenge isn't relevant to us in Ireland because we don't castrate here, but the other 3 areas, we had a lot of work in trying to identify farms, and also I suppose a lot of work in trying to get farmers that were comfortable and happy enough to have their farms put forward as a good practice or a best practice.
So in Spain, we have found some difficulties in some lines of work of the WelFarmers project, especially in some topics of the WelFarmers, of the 4 topics that we are working in. We have our farmers very developed and very experienced in some areas, but they need to work a lot in other areas. For example, in the aspect of the tail locking. We have a big challenge in the tail locking farms. I think that almost the majority of the farms are tracking the tails in their farms. So we have a lot of problems there to find what the farmers could do and what they need to do to try to search for some good practices and to identify also some good practices in that part of their work. But unless that, I think that the farmers are still trying to do some things and to try to work in that area. I think that we have done a really nice job.
The main challenges we have to deal with in collecting the good practices in the farms was, first of all, to find farmers who will agree to participate in the contest, and second, to respect the indicative number of good practices for each of the 4 topics.
The main issue identified in the survey of good practices in Italian pig farms is related to the fact that farmers have very different cost monitoring criteria. Some of the collected form are incomplete, and the use of this information to assess potential higher costs associated with adopting good practices is not reliable or comparable among farmers.
Well, you are doing a great job, guys. I know about that. And it hasn't been, as I have told before, an easy way, but you are doing great. So now let's talk a little bit about the topics. Okay, we remember that in the project we are working 4 main topics. Okay, the ban of cages, the pigs with undocked tails, the avoiding pain in castration, and the space allowance and flooring. So I would like you to ask. So I would like to ask you, which of this topic is being more worked in your country, and why? So explain me a little bit about which topic are you finding more in your country. So you can go one by one, and please and tell us a little bit more about that.
In Finland, most work obviously has been done with entire tails. As since 2003, we have not been allowed to dock tails. So 100% of Finnish pigs have long tails. Therefore, we have also worked with space allowance and pen design, as they are part of the package. So most of those things have already been solved. During the latest decade, we have been working hard with free farrowing, and today about 60% of the piglets are born free. By 2035, all sows must have free farrowing pens. It's possible to keep them locked 2 days before farrowing and 3 days after, but that's the maximum which we have. So those are the things we have been working here in Finland.
We have been working on all 4 topics because we think they are all very important. Dealing with the loose housing of sows, we have had a lot of on-farm trials going on, and a lot of farmers has experience with this form of producing pigs. Further, producing male pigs has also been developing for a very short period in Denmark, but in a very fast speed. So both producing male pigs and producing immunocastrated pigs has increased in Denmark, and this is actually also one of the best ways to avoid pain at castration. These 2 topics has been easier to collect good practice from compared to undocked tails and space allowance.
Comprehensive information both from the backyard and commercial systems can be gathered mainly about the space allowance and flooring, including practices to ensure dry flooring and thus ammonia emission control. The most challenging topics were those related to castration, as this practice is widely performed usually at the age of 2-3 days in young male piglets.
The more prevalent topic in Portugal would be related to work package 4. And for us, it would be raising entire males. Castration is really not a common practice in our country. So it has been really interesting to hear from our farmers and to see how they have achieved this over the years. This is not the case for many of the other partners in the project. So for us, it has raised a lot of interesting discussions and a lot of questions around management practices, around nutrition and genetics. So yeah, overall, it has been a really, really interesting experience to share our knowledge with everyone.
The challenge, I suppose, that's getting most attention in Ireland would be the space and flooring one. I suppose probably because it's something that the farmers can see the direct impact of something like that on their own farms. So we already have farms, and we have submitted best practice or good practices on the flooring and spacing one, because farms that have increased we say space allowance for pigs, particularly grower pigs, have seen improvements in growth rates, improvements in feed conversion and efficiency. So there's a lot of interest in that whole area. So I'd say, yeah, that's probably the challenge that's gaining most interest here in Ireland.
In Spain, one of the most worked topics that we have found is the production of entire males. I think that we have a lot of tradition in Spain to produce the males without castrating or non-castrated males. So I think that in that part our work has been so much easier than in other aspects. I think that we have also another aspect that we are really good in it. For example, the free farrowing pens. Spain is one of the countries of the WelFarmers project that have most of the farms with free farrowing pens, and I think that in that aspect we have also done a really nice job.
When we started last year to look for the farmers who would be ready to participate to the project, we could observe in different regions of France that the most worked topics, interesting topics for farmers are, first of all, the pen of cages. and second, the reduction of pain in castration. The ban of cages because most of recent investment are in the free farming system. And the castration is still quite popular due to the demand of the food processor.
Within the scope of the topics studied with the WelFarmers project, the most significant experience that Italy can provide relates to farrowing pens, with only minor variations in the approach among individual farms. In Italy, interest for free farrowing breeding systems is increasing as they promote animal welfare and meet the demands of consumers and stricter regulations. In some Italian regions, alternative farming practices are being promoted, featuring larger spaces and fewer restrictions, also supported by regional incentives and animal welfare certifications.
Well, as you can see, the project is catching different realities around the different countries in Europe. This is one of our strongest part of the project, to catch all different realities and try to put all of them together to see what we can do. And this is in what we are working a lot. So now we are arriving to the last part of the video cast. And I would like you to ask guys to give us an example, okay, of a good practice you have collected in your country. Remember that you have them in the website. You can go there and follow these good practices. But please tell me an example of that in your country. Go one by one and please explain us a little bit more about that.
My example from Finland is a finisher house with 1,900 places in 2 buildings. The new building is from 2018 and the older one from 1997. This farm sold 7,500 pigs last year and only 2.1% have any tail biting marks at the slaughterhouse. So how do they do that? Keeping the basics right. The first and most important thing is feed. All the animals should be able to eat at the same time, and the quality of the feed should be so that the stomach health is good and the feeling of hunger does not exist. The second thing is health. We do not have any serious pig diseases in Finland, but on top of that, this farm vaccinates against Lawsonia, which has been shown to be a case. Third thing is the pen design. There should be only about 15 to 20 animals per pen, and they should be at the end of the process over 1 square meters per animal. Only equal size pigs are put at the beginning to the pen so that the smaller ones do not lag behind or get stressed and do not start tail biting. Then there is this air quality and conditioning, air climate. No moisture, that's a really big problem. And the cool air must be focused on the solid laying area for the comfort of the pigs. Bedding and enrichment are of course a little bit of importance. There should be some bedding material added daily to the floor, but enrichment is only used if there's a problem. And there are several ways of solving this problem, but not enough time to explain it now and here. So if you want to learn more, please be in contact. Okay, thank you.
One of the topics we have been dealing with in Denmark for last couple of years is vaccinating pigs with immunocastration. And one of the farm has introduced a good practice vaccinating male pigs in large pens. In these large pens, there are 400 pigs together, and vaccinating the male pigs, 3 girls go through the pen 2 times. The first time when the pigs are weighing 30 kilos, and the second time 4 to 6 weeks before delivery. During this process, the personnel goes through the stable with this vaccinator, and they vaccinate all the male pigs and they inspect all the female pigs. And the people in the herd, they say no thanks to castration. They prefer to vaccinate the pigs twice, even in the large pens. Another important topic is also to in the cage and have loose sows during lactation. And actually it's very difficult to calculate how to make the pen work. So one of our Danish farmers, he actually invented all these cardboard pigs. And the idea is that you design your stable in a small scale, and then you use all these cardboard pigs, the sow and all the piglets, to see how to make the pen function and how large an area you will need for producing loose farrowing sows.
The best good practice we found is the one related to tail docking in the small households. Here no one is practicing tail docking of the piglets, as there are seldom situations where tail biting is actually a problem. This is most probably due to the usage of straw as enrichment material combined with low density of pigs in pens and plenty of space allowance. Obviously, the circumstances are rarely found in large commercial farms, and thus this is a challenge for which we need as farmers to find properly applicable and economical feasible solution.
I guess a good example of a good practice that we have here in Portugal concerning raising entire males is one of our farmers who we have approached, and he has always produced entire males. He has around 15 pavilions. Each of them contains 24 pens, and each pen houses approximately 23 pigs. It has a space allowance of around 0.68 square meters per pig. What he believes is the essential good practice is to separate, to group the animals since weaning to finish and maintaining those groups. And he groups them by weight and sex. And according to this farmer, he has never had problems with boar taint, never has carcasses being rejected at the slaughterhouse. Also, one of the problems that we usually have with raising entire males is mounting behavior, and he reports that he's never had this issue, and he believes it is due to this maintenance of grouping throughout their life.
To mention one of the good practices that we've identified, it's not a flooring and spacing one actually, even though there's a lot of interest in that here at the minute, but it's the loose lactation or loose farrowing challenge, and it's kind of novel from the point of view that as well as loose lactation, it also has a commingling element where the pigs commingle after a certain period of time. And just to give you a basic description of it, so we have a farm who went loose farrowing, or loose lactation I should say, back in 2017. So he's got 6.5 square meter pens, and the sows are in the pens, created in the pens until day 7 of lactation. And what this is doing for the farm in particular is it's helping give the sow and the pig the best advantage of both. You know, we've similar mortality levels on this farm as you would have with conventional crated systems, so he's achieving that and it's working quite well for him. The add-on to this is the commingling element. So what he's doing then is he's opening up all the pens in the room after about 15 to 20 days after farrowing, and so the piglets can mix, and this is working really well for him. What he's seen is it's given the pigs time to adapt to the mixing, and also to form their own hierarchies or hierarchical groups in the pens before they're weaned. So what he's seen then is there's less stress at weaning time when the pigs are weaned. They're weaned at 28 days of age, so there's less stress, and also he's also noticed that there's better growth rates and less post-weaning scours from this system. The key thing that he does highlight for us is any later than 20 days, you need to commingle from 15 to 20 days. If you go later than 20 days, he has seen a number of sows coming on heat in the farrowing rooms, and that can result in missed heats or subfertile heats and things like that. So that's just something to be aware of. But we're really proud of it as a practice coming from Ireland, and we're hoping that, look, it has international application across the network of people or groups involved in WelFarmers, but also beyond that, internationally, it certainly has something that could be adopted throughout the world. So we'd look forward to seeing how it evolves.
An example of a good practice that we have implemented in Spain is one that we have found in Galicia, the northern western part of Spain, that is about the free birth modules inside the farm. It's a practice where the shows are free, non-cages, and they farrowing and they have the piglets in a free space without jails. We also have some problems there because we need to find a genetic where the show is relaxed, where it's easier for the workers to pick up the piglets and put in other spaces. But it has their difficulties, but with the years, I think that they implement that practice in the 2018 year. They have worked a lot in that practice, and they have developed it in a correct way, so they are working on that aspect.
Regarding space allowance and flooring, we could collect a good practice consisting in reducing the fattening density by about 10%. And this practice provide a gain in welfare first, but also in the economic performance of the farm in the fattening system.
Within the scope of the topics studied with the WelFarmers project, the most significant experience that Italy can provide relates to farrowing pens, with only minor variations in the approach among individual farms. In Italy, interest for free farrowing breeding systems is increasing as they promote animal welfare and meet the demands of consumers and stricter regulations. In some Italian regions, alternative farming practices are being promoted, featuring larger spaces and fewer restrictions, also supported by regional incentives and animal welfare certifications.
We have arrived until the end of this new WelFarmers videocast. It has been a pleasure to have you here today. Remember that this videocast is going to be recorded, and so you will have access to it in YouTube, in WelFarmers website, and as well in the WelFarmers profile in Pig33, so you can have the time to see it and watch it again every time you will want. And now, before to close the webinar, I would like to give the word to Hanne Maribot to explain a little bit what are going to be now the next steps, and then to let the word to all of you guys to say bye to all our audience. So thank you again very much to be with us today, and let's see of course more times in the future.
The next step in this project with the regional network is to make all the farmers and the advisors to help us to evaluate all the good practices that's been collected from the 8 countries in this project. The regional network, they are going to evaluate which topics they think are the best, and further we are going to deliver all the information we have collected with the good practices to all the Danish farmers as well as to the regional network. So we're looking forward to this, and we're looking forward to the second round in this regional network to collect all the good ideas.
So thank you for listening. I was Taru Antikainen, and I hope that you don't hesitate to contact me or my colleagues if you have any questions. It was nice being here with you. Bye.
The future of pig welfare is in our hands. Join us to find the best practices and to shape together the future of the pig farming in European Union.
Thanks everyone for attending this webinar. Get involved with the WelFarmers project. Feel free to ask any questions you have, and I hope to see you here next time.
So that's it for now. We have done the first round of best practice in the project, and now we are going to the second part. So I encourage you to follow the progress of the project and to see what are the results for the WelFarmers project.
Thank you all for your participation. It was a pleasure to show you the activity we are carrying out in Italy for the WelFarmers project. Have a nice day and see you soon. Bye bye.